Mm. Good night to everyone, and welcome to Sankofa Central Room, a school without walls where we discuss everything and anything that is for the upliftment of ourselves, our faith, our country. I am your host, elect Lady Queen Mother Hilary Lloyd, and it has been a while since I have been with you. However, uh, we are back and we are ready to go. This being our first program, I guess as you will notice, there are some differences in how it is being done. And so tonight we're going to be looking at the way forward. But before we get into all of that, let me give a short word of prayer. Father God, we give you thanks and we give you praise. I thank you, O God, for spared life, oh God. I thank you, oh God, for keeping me, oh God, and I thank you for bringing back Sankofa Central Room to our viewers, oh God. Father, I thank you for the tremendous support that we have been getting over the past years. And Father, even now, I pray, oh God, that every program, that every topic, every guest, every speaker, Father, oh God, that is going to be blessed, oh God, and we're going to be able, oh God, to reach souls far and wide, and we will be able to have positive um, effect on situations, on individuals, based on whatever they may be going through. Father, I thank you. I give you the praise and I glorify you in Jesus' almighty name. And so tonight, as I said, it is good to be back. Having taken some time out and gotten a little bit of rest and um, being able to look and evaluate the program and see where we at and where we heading. And so one of the things that we have decided is that one thing I have decided is that we will make a bit of a change in that we are now streaming on Spiritual Baptist Radio. We are streaming on more platforms than before so that we can reach a wider audience than before. And so tonight I want to have a little chat with the founder of the platform Spiritual Baptist Radio, and we are going to enlighten you as to how we are moving forward with the program Sankofa Central Room. So let me ask at this time that my guest join me, none other than Shepherd Chrystan Dalrymple. And Shepherd Chrystan, blessed night.
Pleasant good night, Mother Lloyd. Thank you for having me tonight.
All right. And so tonight, we want to talk a little bit about this initiative to have Sankofa Central Room streamed from Spiritual Baptist Radio studio to a wider audience, so we can reach a wider audience. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about Spiritual Baptist Radio. What really is Spiritual Baptist Radio? And how was that idea born? How did that initiative came into being?
Okay, well, pleasant good night again to everyone joining us. Pleasant good night, Mother Anna. I saw some people saying good night in the comments. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to like and share the stream because, as Mother Lloyd would have alluded to, we want to reach as much people as possible. Spiritual Baptist Radio is an idea that I would say was birthed more than 25 years ago. In that, when long time when you're listening to radio, there were very few gospel stations. And I remember there was only one Baptist program at a point in time on radio, which was on 7:30 radio. And it was, I think, like probably once or twice for the week. And I realized that even back then, there was still a challenge with the spiritual Baptist community accessing mainstream media. So back then, the thought was always there to have a platform whereby the spiritual Baptist community could call their own, where they can easily access, where they can be comfortable. They don't have to worry about stepping on nobody's toes or anything like that. Because, sometimes, yes, you want to worship, but because it's not your space and it's somebody else's space you're using, you had to be accommodating to that fact. And more recently, which would have been just about 6 years ago, I came across a program or a station rather called GMGT Live, which was a radio station that does live streaming out of the America. And in watching their program, that idea that I would have had how many years ago came back to me. And I was like, this is a good idea whereby it's not just a radio station on FM radio, but it's something that could even reach a wider audience. If people could actually see inside your studio and be able to feel as they're a part of what is taking place and be able to see everything that is taking place. So from then I decided to buy a little equipment, started doing a little research on different ways I can go about creating the platform. And I started with Facebook and YouTube. And gradually we have now increased that we are across different platforms. And now we are doing our best to expand the broadcast schedule of Spiritual Baptist Radio so more persons can be aware of what's taking place. Spiritual Baptist Radio is a platform created for the Spiritual Baptist community and is only really for the Spiritual Baptist community. And it might sound a little biased to some people, but it's really for the Spiritual Baptist community. I have received offers from other people to other denominations rather to, use the platform. But I say, this is specifically for us. Something where we can call home, where we can feel comfortable to come to and interact freely without any problems or offending anyone, where we can have our own space.
And so having um having started And having started, as you would have said, creating or having created this space for the use of spiritual Baptist persons, the thing about it is, or my question is, how is that going so far? And is it that persons are embracing the opportunity?
So far, there are its challenges. I'm not going to lie to anyone and say it has been smooth sailing. No, there has been challenges because at first, when I now started out, I had the feeling that I was stepping on a few toes because I did not do sufficient research. Because as much as I am a spiritual Baptist, I was not aware of what was taking place fully within the spiritual Baptist community. So only after starting to live stream and starting to do my program, which I used to do, which was Sabbath school on a Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6, I realized that, there were other persons doing things, and I started to, as a radio station would do, advertise and, make other persons aware of other programs. For example, um, King Shepherd Ray Braffett would used to have his program on a Friday evening. Also, Preacher Preach would have his in the garden session. Mother Nicole with hers. So, I started promoting other persons' platforms as well to show that, I am not here to take away from what other persons are doing, but the goal is really to help uplift and support each and every one in what they are doing as well. Um, I think some of the challenges is that, we still have ingrained mindset sometimes that uh, we competing against each other, when in reality we should be working together and trying to unify each other as best as we can so that we can go further, because a rising tide raises all ships. So there's no need to fight one another, but as one person grows, we'll each and everyone grow as well.
Right. And so you would have approached me and we would have decided that Sankofa Central Room is now going to be streamed on Spiritual Baptist Radio. And so we spoke about it, and we decided that we will go this way because we will be able to reach a wider audience because of the various platforms that we are streaming on. Could you enlighten us as to I don't know if you're getting it, but I'm getting a little echoing. As to the various platforms that we are streaming on right now that persons can access.
Okay, so at present, Spiritual Baptist Radio live streams on 3 platforms, which is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch is not a well-known platform with most persons, but there are a few persons who know about the Twitch streaming platform. Um, in collaborating with you, and how this platform that I utilize is set up, individuals are still able to also incorporate their personal platforms into the live stream as well, whereby you can also broadcast where you would have been broadcasting before to still increase your reach. Um, the purpose of reaching out to you in particular was because after watching a couple of your programs, I saw a need that I could assist with, because I like to look at myself as a facilitator. I am here to facilitate, to help assist in the growth. And because of that, need that I would have seen with you, and not it wasn't just increasing the reach, but also assisting, because I know that is you alone sometimes and you're negotiating who come in the Zoom, who have to get mute. And I know sometimes that is very distracting from you being able to do the program. So, um, what I'm also offering, and let me put this in here one time, because trying to increase the reach, I am trying to get other persons to come on board as well. Hence the reason why I reached out to you. There's also another young lady who started a program called Conversations. She is live streaming on a Monday. And there's also Leader Jeremiah, who streams on a Friday, which is Praise at Midnight. And so I'm looking at getting other persons to come on board. So I have an offer at present, because I know most people think that there's a cost attached. And yes, these things have a cost to run within the background. However, for a short time only, I'm offering a offer to those who are quick enough on the draw, where two additional persons or groups can have a slot within the radio station to live stream for a period which we would agree to when they contact me. So anybody who's interested can contact me. I have 2 slots open, so anyone who's interested, feel free to contact me at the radio station number or via email to book your slot. Because as I say, it's just about being able to facilitate and show people that the platform does exist. It is there, because there are a lot of people who still don't know about the platform, and to help grow that other persons can be able to have a little ease in their doing their stuff.
Right. And so I just want for the ease of the viewers, especially the persons who would follow me, the persons who would usually join on Zoom, there is no longer a Zoom number ID available for persons to join on Zoom. However, these persons can now join on the various platforms. What I want them to understand, and I want you to explain, is that they can still make their comments and we will still be able to get them and we will still be able to address them. So could you please enlighten persons on that?
Apologies, Mother Ned. My audio cut out for a minute, so I wasn't hearing what you were saying, because I remember you said I was getting a little feedback, so I was adjusting that. Could you repeat your question, please?
So I was saying that there would be people who would come on, persons who would come on Zoom, and they would come on and make their comments, as well as persons on Facebook. With
Correct.
this new format, I know that persons may be a bit confused, not too sure what to do, not too sure how this works. If they can comment, if I will be able to see their comment and make, they give the necessary responses and that kind of thing. Could you explain to the viewers how this new system works?
Okay, so how this new system works, it really is to provide a ease for the person who is hosting the program. So basically, even though we are streaming to 5 different platforms tonight, all the comments are coming up in one place, one comment section. So whosoever is on the program can see comments that are both made on Facebook or on YouTube. So let me just give you an example. So tonight we have Mother Anna, who is viewing the program. She's viewing on YouTube. So if they look, they will see a nice little YouTube icon close to her comment. That's somebody who's viewing on YouTube. And then we have, for example, Brother Jeremiah, who is looking on from on Facebook. Also, with using this platform, as you can see, I'm able to pull up comments on the screen for ease of reference. So even to those who may be viewing, because sometimes somebody may post a question and you, Mother Ned, would then read the question or the comment to whosoever may be on your panel. So this would also assist with that in terms of being able to pull up the comment on the screen. So the platform itself provides a lot of flexibility and uniqueness in what can be added to someone's live stream, as opposed to if you just pull out your phone and go live kind of scenario. So anyone who's viewing, whether it's Facebook, whether YouTube, whether it's Spiritual Baptist Radio, Mount Zion page, or even your personal page, any comment, if you wish to make a comment, you just type your comment in the comment section, and Mother Lloyd is going to see your comment without a problem, without a delay. It's going to pop up one time.
So that persons can join, because I am kind of monitoring from my phone to see what their life looks like. And I'm not seeing the regular folks coming up, so I'm not sure if they understand that it is this more or less the same format, just minus the Zoom.
Yeah. Well, you know, with everything you have the initial teaching phase. So I know that some people, because they are accustomed to the Zoom, they will be looking out for the quote unquote Zoom link. I also know that some people prefer the privacy of the Zoom as well, because you know they may not be want to be seen on Facebook or whatnot. What I can say is the beauty of it is that, excuse me, you can also, well, based on the service I'm offering you, they can also send their comments privately to the radio station WhatsApp number, and they can also, it would also be passed on, so that if it is they don't want to post it on Facebook or on YouTube. So you can still get your privacy if you wish. I know it's a little change because I know some people are accustomed to the Zoom, but I know through the platform it gives you the flexibility to reach both Facebook and YouTube. And also because of Facebook has now made changes whereby after 30 days, your video now comes off of Facebook. It means that with it being now on YouTube, that even though after the 30 days, you can still go back and look at the program and it will still be there for posterity.
So all in all, this move is an upward move. All in all, this move, it is one that is going to benefit the program in the long run,
Correct.
in terms of reaching a wider audience, in terms of persons being able to access the material at their convenience,
Correct.
and being able to probably add their comments and that kind of thing at a later time.
Correct.
So you see, because I want persons to, even they're not on, may not be on tonight, that they can go back and they can look at the program and understand what is happening. Understand that we have just shifted. The only platform that we have really shifted away from is the Zoom platform per se. But that they can now just access the program on Facebook or on YouTube.
Correct. Yeah, because I know some people are not pro change, because you know when we comfortable with one thing, especially when it take a while for you to catch on to it, it'll be hard to move on to something else. But the beauty of the platform that I use, which is called StreamYard, it really assists both the persons who are viewing as well as excuse me, the person who is hosting the program, to do a little bit more than they would do, and also to give a better quality program to those who may be tuning in. Because, for example, you know, on Zoom, from time somebody talk, they pop up on screen, you're no longer the person who may be hosting, not on screen. So you have little teething issues or technical difficulties with certain things. And with the platform, it alleviates those issues. Um, Also, for example, you can be speaking on screen, and even though there's only two of us in studio, there can be you alone on the screen for a time frame. It can be you on some graphic media that can be shared in terms of upcoming events, or even if it is you wish to expound on a piece of scripture, that can also be highlighted on screen. So it gives you a similar look to when you watch, for example, the platforms, the Pentecostal or whatnot platforms, when they do their preaching online, where you can put up a piece of scripture at the bottom of the screen and that sort of thing. So it's really just to give us, or for want of a better word, bring us up to the standard out there, so that we don't have to be behind anyone else, but we can be on the same level or even above other persons as time goes by.
When when we first started the program, I looked at something and it was saying something about something for $10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make it quite clear to persons who may have seen that they don't have to pay to watch the program.
Correct. The program is totally free. So I believe due to how the platform is set up, there's a referral link that shows up when the live stream is shared or in the comment on the details. That referral link is basically, if it is you wish to use the streaming platform, you can click that link. It's like me saying, hey, we did buy that shoes down the road. We don't normally give a referral. I did try this and it was nice. So, you may see it and say, what, let me try out the platform. So that is that link that's in the bottom there. The $10 that you may see is where they offer you a percentage off if it is you decide to use the platform and pay for particular services. And it would also then give me, I think, around the same thing off for using the platform as well. It gives me a percentage off as well. But to
So
anybody
that
viewing, there's no cost attached to viewing, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. No cost at all.
so that persons who and let me reiterate, when you log on, if you may see that notice, please know that that is not attached to the program. There is no cost attached to viewing the program, as it were.
Correct.
There is no cost at all attached to viewing the program. Yes? So that the programs are, you can go on, apart from Spiritual Baptist radio platforms, you can also go on Mount Zion House of Prayer Facebook page, and you can also go on Hilary Ned's Facebook page as well. So we are streaming on all the different platforms that we would have just mentioned. Spiritual Baptist Radio Facebook page, Spiritual Baptist Radio YouTube channel, Mount Zion House of Prayer Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and Hilary Ned Facebook page. Are we streaming anywhere else? Those are the four.
Yeah, those are the four. The fifth one is Twitch. As I say, it's not a familiar platform to most persons. It is familiar, to example, to persons who do gaming or do DJing, as during the COVID period, it's a platform that was used by a lot of DJs and gamers that when they play the music, they would not be reported, because when you're on Facebook and you play certain songs, they normally flag your live stream because you play a song that may have been copyrighted. So Twitch is a platform that you don't really have those copyright issues with, that you can play your music and it won't be penalized by persons thinking that you're trying to steal the music, but just you playing it.
What can viewers look forward to now that we are on this platform? Now that we are streaming from literally from Spiritual Baptist Radio Studio. What can viewers look forward to? And not only the viewers, as the host, what are some of the things or the additional things that I will have access to?
Okay, so let me start with the first one. So the first one you would have had access to is previously you'd have just been on Zoom and Mount Zion Facebook page. Whereas now you now have access to both Mount Zion Facebook page as well as your personal Facebook page. And then you have the added benefit because you have now teamed up with Spiritual Baptist Radio. You now have as well Spiritual Baptist Radio Facebook and YouTube page that you can utilize for or that you'll be exposed to. So you have the first thing is you have additional exposure to different platforms all at the same time, not one after the other. Sometimes you go live here and then you record the video and upload it somewhere else. All goes live at the same time. Also, you have the added benefit of customizing your live stream in the sense of with your program. So, for example, we can add videos to your program. We can add, as you see at the bottom of the screen, you will see Welcome to Sankofa Central Room. You will also see, for example, when you have guests in studio, we're able to highlight each guest, pull their name up on screen. You'd also be able to bring comments on screen, as I would have said earlier, in terms of if somebody has a comment or a question, that can be brought up on screen as well. As I also alluded to, there's also the facility of where persons can send questions via WhatsApp to the radio station page, which would include voice notes as well as typed media, which can also be shared via the live stream as well. So, all in all, what you are getting, and anyone else who's willing to team up with Spiritual Baptist Radio, is that you are getting, or what we are looking to achieve is the same way you will look at TTT, TV6, and these other TV stations when they have their programming. That is the kind of quality programming that we want to put out there on Spiritual Baptist Radio and with the Spiritual Baptist community, so that when persons tune in, you'll have an intro video, you'll have an outro video, different things that add to the quality of what they will be viewing. So when you look at it, you can feel proud and say, yeah, Spiritual Baptist going somewhere. Because, we look at ourselves sometimes and we look at where we would have come from, and our elders would not have had certain opportunities. They would not have access to certain things. They may not have been highly educated. And now, we have a lot more highly educated, because as the youths come up, they have the opportunity to access different things, and even the elders in terms of as simple as technology. So the advancement of the faith, as I said, Spiritual Baptist Radio is to bring education as well as entertainment to the Spiritual Baptist community.
So that we are not just limited to just talking. No, we can have additional features.
Correct.
And so that we can probably do a presentation and PowerPoint, all that kind of thing.
Correct.
And so so that the formatting of the program can now differ from time to time. So we don't have to do the same thing all the time, because we are limited in what we can do.
True. So yes, because of that, you have a expanded range of what you're able to offer to your viewers. As a host of a program, you have more that you can offer to your viewers. You have a greater flexibility, and the best part is you don't have to do all the work yourself, because you would have somebody in the background, myself or my loving brother Jeremiah, shop leader Jeremiah, who would be able to assist in the producing. So, for example, Normally, when you're doing a live stream on a net, you ought to be looking to pin who is the next speaker so that, the person would remain on screen. So, for example, while I'm speaking, I could highlight myself alone. So persons will see me alone on the screen. And then while you're speaking, just like our TV station will switch from one person talking to the next person talking, it gives you that facility as well. So that, you know, you're not, for example, you may want to take a little sip of water, but then you want nobody see you sipping your little water, while the person talking, that person's on screen. So, it gives you a more professional feel in terms of what we're able to offer. People are going to watch us and say, oh God, them couldn't do better. No, the aim is that just as how we have advanced ourselves in our worship, we improve our places of worship, we no longer in the bush, we have our temples, we have our churches, concrete, in some cases AC, a little fan, a little microphone. We are advancing ourselves, and this is all part as well of advancing ourselves as the spiritual Baptist community. There are some other things I know that some persons have brought to my attention, and as much as I can help, I would assist with. I know some persons mentioned to me, about a secondary school, because we know we have a primary school already, and I look at it and I say, these are things that we can do as the spiritual of this community, because when I look at the other denominations, they have so many schools. And one of the classes that I attended recently, the teacher was mentioning that, you're saying, one of the things we need to do to establish ourselves even further is to establish schools, whether it be primary, secondary, tertiary, so that persons would be able to see, yes, there is growth within the spiritual Baptist faith, not just in churches wise and bringing people to Christ, but also holistically and adding to the country as well.
So I am looking forward to great things happening on this platform for Sankofa Central Room, and by extension for the benefit of the not only the spiritual Baptist faith, but for all the persons who view the programs that we offer, because like I was saying to somebody today, while we are spiritual Baptists and our top priority is to ensure that the members of the spiritual Baptist faith benefit from what we have to offer, it is not limited to.
Correct. Because one of the avenues that I can see the platform being used, and I don't know if I don't think I have the qualifications to do it, but I know there are persons who are more knowledgeable than me, is also enlightening the public about the spiritual Baptist faith in terms of the way we worship, why we worship, how we do certain things, because there's a lot of ambiguity and uncertainty with certain persons of exactly what is spiritual Baptist, how will it differ from the Eurasian faith, what makes you all unique, why you do this, why you do that, and these are some of the questions that some people have. And unfortunately, when you go to Google, you don't really get much information. You get very limited information in terms of these things. So it's also to bring enlightenment to, as I said, to the wider community. And it's not just Trinidad and Tobago, because we know by the internet you are able to reach the entire world and the universe. So it doesn't matter where you are. There are persons from up the island, St. Vincent, Grenada, Jamaica, who tune into Spiritual Baptist Radio. There are persons from the States as well who tune into Spiritual Baptist Radio. So, and as well would have been tuning into your program. I know even Lord Bishop Gavar, when he has his program, you have persons tuning in from all over. So basically, it's just the purpose of the radio station is to uplift the spiritual Baptist faith, yes. It's really tailor-made to including them to be able to have their own space, yes. But it doesn't mean that we are going to tell persons, don't tune in. No, what we have is open to all, is to bring enlightenment to all, so that there can be a greater understanding between ourselves and our neighbors. because understanding also breeds love. Sometimes you're ringing, they want to know why you're ringing this bell 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the night, 12 o'clock midday. What services are they doing? Why it is they doing that service? So, it's really to enlighten our community and bring greater understanding between our fellow man so we can live a little more peaceably, so you'll always understand that we are all endeavoring to reach to heaven, at least for the Christian community.
So let me just say that as it relates to Sankofa Central Room, we will be dealing with some of the issues that you would have just brought to the forefront. But apart from that, we will also be looking at social issues as well, because one of the things that I believe is that there are so many issues affecting the church, indirectly and directly. And so
True.
that while it is important for us to understand ourselves as a people and what we do and why we do, it is also equally important that our congregants, or the people who attend our churches, are in good stead, and that we reach out and we address issues that is affecting the church indirectly. Domestic violence, mental health, issues like that, single parenting. We have an aged population as well, so we have to talk about things that affect persons as they get older. We have things like health issues, and a whole range of things, even education, as it were, literacy, as it were, because all of these put together affects the church in some way. And so, excuse me. And so because I believe that we as a people, we who make up the congregation, if we are not in a good place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the church will not be in a good place.
That is true. And let me add to that, also financially, because some people need
Yes.
financial literacy. And I think that, especially in the spiritual atmosphere, we have a tendency to chunk sunny money. We have a tendency to say we don't have. We have a tendency to not know how to utilize what we have to get more. So, for example, one of the programs that I would have done at one time was Baptist Building Business, which was to bring awareness to the spiritual of this community of different persons within the community that offer different types of businesses. So even if you want to support somebody who is a spiritual Baptist, you would then be aware. So, for example, we have persons who are artists, we have persons who are um, real estate agents, there are persons who are chefs, so it helps to bring awareness to what there is on offer. And that's partially the reason why it is normally I do the business expo as well, which is really for spiritual Baptists to come out and show what they have to offer, and also to give encouragement to others that, hey, I may not be sitting in an office. My talent might be construction. My talent might be hairdressing. My talent might be baking. And utilize those avenues to be able to increase revenue. So I do not know if it would be you or somebody else, but I hope as well that we can, probably introduce some entrepreneurship programs to help persons to understand and develop whatever talent they may have into a business so that they can be able to sustain themselves in this economy that seems to be getting a little tighter by the day.
Well, let me say that now that we have merged Sankofa Central Room and Spiritual Baptist Radio, we can work on all these projects and bring them into fusion. Can some of the programs can be dedicated to growth and development in that way, entrepreneurship. and that kind of thing, because we are talking about the holistic individual. We are talking about people being able to sustain themselves.
Correct.
Yes, we are talking about persons being able. We know that not everybody may be gainfully employed, but everybody has a gift. And it is to be able to discover that gift. And when you discover it, take a chance on yourself, because we take chances on other people. We push other people. We tell other people, you could do it, man. And we motivate them. And in some cases, we assist. But what about you discovering you? And so one of the programs that is coming up very soon is interesting that we're talking about it is discovering you and taking a chance on you. So that that might be the prelude to what we're talking about.
And that is important because some people don't know themselves. Unfortunately, some people don't know who they are. They don't know what they are actually capable of. They do not know. And it's some people may feel bad because of it, but let me say they shouldn't, because we have all at one point would have been in a situation where you didn't really know who you are, what you're capable of. So it's a learning process as you go along. And once you're able or open to getting assistance or being taught, then you are going to be able to grow, because somebody is going to be able to come to you and give you that assistance and give you that word, give you that encouragement, that you'll be able to move from one point to another. And as Sankofa Central Room has done, because if I and before it was even Sankofa Central Room, when it was Mothers of Zion, that opportunity was afforded to many where they can tune in and get things applicable or information applicable to themselves, that they'll be able to grow holistically. And I pray and ask God that He continue to help us to go in our vein from strength to strength.
Well, I know He will, because I am all for growth and development. Like I tell people, while it is important to be a good Baptist, and I am one of the person who continually wants to improve myself as a spiritual Baptist, it is also equally important that you be good to you, that to be good to you, and you be a good person to you. The thing about it is, and so maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag for the program, but I'm just saying, sometimes the things that we were taught, we have to unlearn some things. Yes,
True.
to learn new things, because sad to say, sometimes it is the things that we were taught that have some folks not believing in themselves.
Correct.
And sometimes we have to unlearn something so that we can learn some new things and know that I am important. I am important enough to take a chance on me. And I think when we empower people, because the Bible says that, and so when we listen to scripture that says, we talk about the renewing of the mind, we have to understand that is not only a spiritual thing. Yes, it is not only for your spiritual life and your spiritual growth, but that is for your all-round development. And so those are some of the things that we want to be talking about as the weeks come and go. We want to be talking about self-development. And that is going to be a series all in itself, self-development. And right after Spiritual Baptist Day and all of that is done, we're going to start on self-development.
Yes, because developing self is important. You know, some people negate themselves, and self-development is even in the smallest of things, because self-development is as simple as reading your Bible or reading a book, watching an inspirational video, um, looking at a movie, and from that movie that most people might just see as entertainment, you may get some sort of moral teaching from watching that. So you can get encouragement and wisdom from various sources, and it is important that, you say every day you had to keep feeding yourself. When I was in business with Amway, they used to say they want to stay green and growing, because sometimes you get ripe, the next stage after that is to rotten.
That's
So
right.
we ourselves, we always had to keep green and growing, no matter how old you are. And as what I've said and alluded to, information for the elderly sometimes, because those of age sometimes are not aware of certain information. So, for example, even this week, there was information coming out that, the 5 cent is going to be demonetized, and
Right.
person of the belief that tomorrow, please God, was the deadline to get your 5 cents change. And then I would have gone onto Facebook and realized that Central Bank put out a statement indicating, well, no, it's not, they don't have a fixed deadline as yet. So I then took that information and shared it on the channel as well, so that persons will be aware what is taking place, because not everybody might scroll Facebook enough to be able to come across that information. So for those who don't know, Spiritual Baptist Radio has a WhatsApp channel as well, that we also share upcoming events and information on, sometimes some motivational audio clips or videos are also posted there, so that you can get something for those who just in WhatsApp and may not be on the TikTok or the Instagram as well.
And so, as I said, I look forward in the coming weeks to working with Spiritual Baptist Radio um, and to, yes, and I like this comment. Let me say, I like that comment, because there is a mentality among our people. And, it is time that we face facts and we stop hiding behind shades of gray. It is time that we understand we are not the poorest people. We are not. We hold the same jobs like other denominations. What is the problem is the way we were indoctrinated. And so that let me write that, because that just dropped in my spirit. So that's going to be a program. My doctrine. So I welcome that comment there just now. So we have to look at ourselves. We have to look at the way we were indoctrinated. We have to unlearn some things. Pour new wine in old bottle. And I'm going to be using the scriptures to show for people to understand that when we read these things, we think that's just your spiritual life you're talking about. But that does not only apply to your spiritual self. It applies to you as a holistic individual. Yes? So there is a lot to come. Some of the programs I'll be doing by myself, let me say. Some of the programs I will have persons coming on as guests. Some of the topics I will do them by myself. And as I said, it is all for the greater good of our people, not only spiritual Baptist people, but our people, wherever you are across the diaspora. And when I say our people, I mean the human race. Yes? It doesn't matter whether you're Catholic, Anglican, Hindu, Baha'i, Muslim, who you are. It really does not matter. What matters is that as a people, we need to develop ourselves. We need to understand ourselves. And we need to move forward with a greater conviction that we are not in the minority. Yes?
Correct.
And so, that's how the Holy Spirit is moving.
So true. So true.
Yes. And as I said, so this year, that's all. I'm just writing some stuff. So this year, Sankofa Central Room is going to be different. Different how? Different in that not every program is going to have a guest. This year, it is going to be, the focus is going to be on self-development, mainly on self-development. And that is going to take us to different channels, entrepreneurship, self-esteem issues, a whole lot of stuff that deals with the individual. Because if you are not where you are as a person, you cannot fully contribute to anybody else's life. Yes?
True.
And so
True.
sometimes we are afraid of becoming all that we can be because we don't want people to feel that we playing thing. We have all kind of silly excuses why we're not excelling, And so we're going to look at some of them. I know some people will agree with, some they will not agree with, but that is what the program is all about. Yes? And so, well, let me say that tonight was the introduction. So, viewers who are on tonight, please tell others who are not on that Sankofa Central Room is now streaming through Spiritual Baptist Radio Facebook page, and we are streaming on 5 different platforms. We are Sankofa Central Room is back. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please, so that the audience can grow. Yes.
True.
And we can have some fruitful discussions.
Correct.
Yes, for persons who out there, you have questions, nobody ain't answering them for you. Everybody telling you go and pray. Sankofa Central Room and telling you go and pray. Sankofa Central Room bringing the answer. You bring the questions, we bring the answers. And we're going to make it happen. Yeah, so anything you want to say before we close tonight?
I just want to say, first of all, thanks again for the opportunity to facilitate. I am appreciative of that. I know not everybody is comfortable as well to step out of their comfort zone, but I really appreciate the opportunity, and I will, as I say, do my best to help improving the standard, not just in terms of the programming, but within the spiritual atmosphere, to be able to uplift the community. Let me mention as well that I do have 2 upcoming programs that would tie in basically to the self-development route that you are taking this year. One event is a Young Men in Ministry seminar that I would like to do in the month of June, which is for young men who are in ministry that looking for answers to questions probably a little more direction, you know, a little greater understanding, some experiences from other persons who would be in similar positions, so persons can look out for that. And then there is another program, another seminar that I'll be doing later in the year, closer around our anniversary, which is geared towards persons who are interested in getting married. So that one is journey to and through marriage, in the sense that, you know, I want to get to that stage of marriage as well as being able to stay within that stage of marriage. Because a lot of times the goal for a lot of people is to be married. But then when they do get married, that is about it. They don't know how to keep the marriage. So, you know, these are things that I'm looking forward to doing this year, besides helping grow the radio station. And as I would have mentioned earlier, I have 2 slots open for anyone or any group that is interested in also having a program on Spiritual Baptist Radio. Feel free to reach out to me. There will be no cost attached in the immediate setting up. Probably a year down the road, we may revisit, because I say there is a overhead cost in terms of maintaining the platform. But as we grow, you know, we're going to get our own studio space, just like the TV studios and the radio station studios, so that persons can actually, if mother they decide one day, you know what, I don't want to stay home, I want to come and rock back on our sofa and talk, we would have that facility available as well, that persons can come into a studio setting and be able to do a program as well. So,
And so we have some upcoming events that we want to highlight just before we leave. And so this is another welcome featured. Sankofa Central Room presents Youth in Gathering and Convention, calling all youth Sunday the 29th of March at 10 a.m. And this is going to be held at Mount Zion House of Prayer, Evangelical Mission. And so we are not just calling the youths, we are calling everybody. We are calling the young at heart, the elderly, everybody to come out on this day, and so that the young people can interact with you. We're going to have a panel discussion led by none other than His Eminence, the Patriarch, Wayne Jones. And we are going to have elders on that platform with whom the young people can interact and ask questions and all of that. This event is free to the public. There is no contribution or charge or anything like that to this. However, we will have lunch on sale and refreshments on sale as well, so as to be able to facilitate the cost of the event. So come out in your numbers that is Sunday the 29th of March, and that is at Mount Zion House of Prayer, Polo Ground Road. We want to see as much people there as possible. All right, as the time comes nearer, we will talk about that as well. And then we have Mount Zion House of Prayer Evangelical Mission, Journeys to Mount Zion Deliverance Temple, North Manzanilla. And that is the church that I pastor in Polo Ground Road, Pisal. And that is on Sunday, the 14th of June, 2026. Contribution, $100, because we are going to Manzanilla. And that is going to be conducted by myself and Bishop Alessa Joseph, and overseen by Archbishop Perry Dyer. So we are going to Bishop Safe Church in Manzanilla. Come out again, come out in your numbers, and let us have a Holy Ghost worshiping time. Looking forward to seeing you there. And as we go along, we will have other announcements that we will want to bring forward, and you are invited to attend. As I leave, let me just say to you, the viewing audience, I am inviting each and everybody. If you don't have a church, come down to Mount Zion House of Prayer. We have room for you there. Yes, come down to Mount Zion House of Prayer. We are a Bible teaching church. We believe in the Word of God. And so I'm inviting anybody and everybody. If you're not going to a church, you were going to a church, you got hurt, you got church hurt, as the folks say, whatever. Do not allow you from serving God. Yes? And so I want to say thank you for those of you who would have joined tonight. As I said, tell a neighbor, tell a friend. We will be advertising, letting people know that we are back, letting people know that we are in a new format, and see you next week, Thursday, God's willing, at 7:30, when Sankofa Central Room will be aired with our next program every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So until then, be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. And remember, you are important. Not only to God, but you are important in the grand scheme of things. Good night and God bless.